Do we have to follow the spacing rules on our seed packets? What do the spacing guidelines actually mean? And why are those guidelines there in the first place? And can we bend the rules if we want to? I think so. Hi, I'm Shiloh, and those are the questions that I'm going to be answering today. What do the spacing guidelines actually mean? So let's have a look at this kale. Spacing. 40 centimetres between plants and rows. As a new gardener, you might read this and assume that you plant your kale plant and it's the distance between your next kale plant. In fact, I did assume that, but I thought, what? That's way too much room. I'm not going to do that spacing. I'm going to do what I want. And that doesn't always work out well. As you can see, there's a huge amount of space. So what they mean is on centre. If you're planting on centre, it's the distance including your plant of 40 centimetres. So you divide the spacing guide by 2 and that gives us 20 centimetres on either side to your next plant. So what the seed companies are thinking is that if you overcrowd your plants, you're not going to get the produce or the harvest that you expect. And they're considering the 4 things that a plant needs in order to produce a bumper crop. Sufficient light for that particular crop, nutrients in the soil, nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, and the micronutrients, which I'm not going to go into, water, and number 4, oxygen, the airflow around the plant. So if you overcrowd your plants, you'll be inhibiting at least one of those things that your plant needs, and you might not get the amount of produce that you expect. However, as container gardeners, we need to get as much as we can out of the space that we have. So now that we know the rules, as it were, we can bend the rules and cram more into our space. And here's how. Mix longer growing crops with a faster growing crop. Radishes, for example, are a quick 4-week crop. And they don't mind being shaded out, although if they are shaded out it will take a little bit longer than 4 weeks. Here I have some room in my rosemary, so I put some radishes in the available space while still delivering the 4 things both crops want. And when I've harvested the radish, I'll just top up the top of the pot with either worm castings or cow poo, because you just have to remember that whatever crop you've had in there before has depleted the soil of some of those nutrients. Sharing slow and quick crops is a great way to make the most of our small space. Another way to cram more in is to grow a taller crop with shorter crops. For example, tomato and basil. Great combination. Peas and carrots are a great pair, although that's never going to happen with me because I don't like peas. So you get what I'm saying. Tall crops with shorter crops. And similar to the last suggestion, grow crops together where you'll be using shading out a plant to your advantage. For example, spinach appreciates being in the shade. You could put your kale plants in, and then the space, that 20 centimetre space in between, you could put a spinach plant. And I loosely follow companion gardening. I do think it's good to know what plants go well together. So before you put 2 plants together, just do a quick little Google search and see if they will be good together. Or what plants have you grown together that you didn't think would work and it was a great success? What plants have you grown together where it just did not work? I would love to hear, because that's what it's all about, is helping each other. And finally, for root crops like carrots, when they make the recommendation for you to thin out the crop, you don't have to do that straight away. You can wait until the carrots have grown a little bit bigger and they are still baby carrots, but you just remove the baby carrot and you eat that, and then you let the rest of the carrots grow to their full potential. And I wish I had some carrots to show you, but they're growing. So I purposely actually did this with the kale plant because I only wanted baby leaves anyway. So I hope this video helps you to make the most of your space. Tell me what plants you've decided to grow together, because I'd love to know. And I'd love to hear how it goes. Thanks for being here, and until next week, see you guys. Cow poo is a great mulch as well.